Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day today. So today I wanted to demonstrate a new project we've been working on called Hippo. Now Hippo is a platform as a service, making it easy to deploy and configure WebAssembly modules. Now how this works is that the user or the developer will compile their applications to WebAssembly. They will upload that module over to Hippo using a command line tool called Hippo Push. And then when that application is published, it will become available on the internet. So the first thing that you need to do when you have Hippo up and running is that you need to register an account. I've already done that, so I'm going to go and log in here. Oh, I gave the wrong password. And what you can see here is that in the main dashboard, we're logged in, but we don't have any applications currently available. Let's fix that. So the first thing we need to do is we need to start in an empty source code directory, and we're going to use a project called Yowasm. Now, Yeoman is a scaffolding tool that helps you, based on certain prompts that you provide, will generate your source code using a generator. So we've provided a generator here called Wasm. So we'll just go Yowasm. And it'll ask us a bunch of questions like, what is the name of the WebAssembly module? We want to deploy using Waggy, and then the name of the author, what programming language, as well as where do we plan to publish it. Yes, I'd like to create a new application for this project. The storage ID is the same. We're going to change the domain name here to hippofactory.io, which will redirect back to localhost 127001. We'll get to that in a second here. But then the username and my password. And you can see here that the source code has now been scaffolded out into our local directory, and it has given us a bunch of information. But if we really refresh the page here, you can see that a Hello World application is now available. And if we look in the source code, you can see a cargo.toml, which is usually used in Rust projects, as well as a couple of other things here. But let's go into the application and talk about this concept called channels. Now, Hippo has a way of deploying an application to multiple different release channels. In this case, we have the latest release, which will deploy a wildcard. So any version that is a valid semantic version that's not a pre-release will be selected here. Whatever is the latest version of that will be selected. We also have development branches and a canary branch, and both of those are based on a predicate which will deploy a pre-release that matches this constraint. So whatever star-bacon gobbler-star is recognized and published to Hippo, it will deploy that, whatever the latest version. And same for the canary. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at our source code. And you can see that it is just an application that returns hello world to the console. But how this works is that our application inside of Hippo is running in a CGI environment. And what that means is that things like the query parameters that the user provides on the browser, certain environment variables that are injected into the runtime that can be configured through the channels, those are all injected into the application, and that can be the application can check those and read and return different responses. But in this example, we're just going to show a hello world. We're always going to respond with that. So now what the first thing we need to do is do a cargo build. We're going to do a release, and we're going to say the target is wasm32-wazy. So we're going to compile it to WebAssembly. Now if we look in the target directory, wasm32 and the release, you can see a hello world.wasm file. Now we're going to push this to Hippo, but I'm going to quickly show you how that's done. So when we did a Yowasm, a HippoFax file was created, and inside of there, it defines things like where's the WebAssembly module and what version that we want to deploy. So it gives us a name, our version that we gave to Yowasm, and then it has this concept called a handler. Now a handler is what will tell the runtime what WebAssembly module is being served where. In this case, any URLs or any browsers that hit the root URL or anything after that will be executed and handled by this WebAssembly module. And we can set this up in different ways. We can have multiple different handlers handle different routes. But we're just going to stick to this example for this demonstration. In further demonstrations, we can show and expand upon this later. But So that's how our Hello World WebAssembly module is being handled by our application. So now we'll go and do a Hippo Push. And what you can see here is that version 0.10 was deployed, but it also added a pre-release predicate to it because Hippo Push by default will deploy as a development version. If we refresh the page here, we can see that the development channel is now deploying that version because the pre-release version that we uploaded matches that predicate. So we go to that new web browser, we can see Hello World. Now, if I change the source code here, and if I change this to hello again, and then recompile it, and then push, and refresh the page again, we can see that the new version, which has a different timestamp than the other one, is now been deployed. And we say hello again. Now, you'll notice that the latest release didn't pick this up because it's a pre-release, and the Canary release or Canary channel did not pick this up because it's looking for a different pre-release predicate or constraint. So those were not matched. Now we want to deploy this to the latest release channel. So we'll go and do that now. We'll do a Hippo Push. We don't need to recompile because we're going to use the same WebAssembly module, but we're going to target the production channel. And with that, a new version called 0.10 is released. Refresh the page, and we can see 0.10 was deployed as the latest release. And now if we open that page, we can see hello again, and hello again as well as for the development. Now to show that these are two identical WebAssembly modules but are on different channels, we'll change it one more time. And we'll say, instead of hello again, we'll say goodbye to our application. We will compile again and push, but this time we'll push to development. So again, we get another pre-release version. If we refresh, we can see that it was published to the development. This is the latest release, still showing hello again, and the new version is now showing goodbye. So hopefully this gives you a taste for the project that we're working on, gives you a short demonstration of this. If you have any feedback or interested in the project, feel free to reach us out. We're on GitHub, github.com/deuslabs/hippo. Hope to see you there. Thank you.